Okay, little video. I'm just trying to work on this thing here. It's a charger system. It's basically a power supply which is used for charging up batteries on a robotic pool cleaner. And apparently it's not charging. I've pulled it apart and I look at it. I've tested the output and it's supposed to output about 29 volts up to 4 amps according to the label on the thing. And if I draw anything like 10 milliamps, the voltage just collapses. I'm even not getting the full 29 volts, but I'm getting like 25, 26 volts sort of stuff. And it just collapses like 13 volts at 20 milliamps. It's like, well, completely bad. Now, I don't believe it's using communication to enable charging because the voltage is on as a plug here all the time. It does have a communication port on it. It does have a RX-TX line apparently. So it's trying to communicate with the robot. This is where you plug in the robot to charge it. It's through this thing. And this plugs into this port here on the board. So it's just basically a switch mode power supply. Now, unfortunately, I'm not particularly good on switch mode power supplies, so we'll see how we go with that. I don't know why. I just don't have much luck with them. We'll see how we go. So your AC comes in here. This device is set up at 240 volts or 220 40, and you've got a diode here, which seems okay. Capacitors visually look okay. I've done some basic checks just to check like your ESR roughly, but not 100%. So I mean, it could just be bad capacitors. I'm not quite sure what the age of this thing is. The plastics on the back here say 2020, so it's at most 6 years old. So I don't really expect capacitors to be bad in 6 years. You know, they could be, but it's unlikely. You know, you got this one next to the heatsink here, for example, and these ones are next to the heatsink as well. I don't know how hot these actually get, but you know, that would be sort of suspects. But yeah, I just want to try and figure out what's going on with this thing. If I can get to stop the collapsing the voltage, that would be a good start. But I mean, I've seen collapsing voltages from bad capacitors before. But the fact that this isn't actually that old makes me suspicious that it probably isn't a bad capacitor, because you wouldn't expect them to fail that soon. What brand are these things anyway? AC. Yeah, AC. Yeah, these things. I don't know, how do you pronounce that? AC, or is that a D, or Dishy? I don't know what that is. Anyway, I mean, these aren't exactly high quality brand, but I've seen this brand around, and these are 105 degree rated, so they shouldn't be too bad. And apparently it's a PET as well, so I don't know. I don't know how good these caps are. I mean, the rest of the quality of this thing actually looks really good. The soldering looks, what I've seen, pretty good. I mean, you look at this board. I mean, there's nothing here which I've sort of looked at and go, oh, that looks terrible. I mean, I've got a joint here which looks very slightly dodgy, but most of them look, you know, they're shiny. They're not looking dull. They all look like they're decent joints. And I haven't checked every single one, obviously, but you know, on a cursory look, the board looks like decent quality. So yeah, I'm just puzzled by it. Basically, this board here has a control board. So you got a LED thing here on the front here that is actually a push button to turn the thing on and off, and it's also got a wireless Bluetooth built into it as well, which is on that board, and that communicates to this. So I think plugging the robot in will turn the enable, will turn the charging on, or pushing the button on the front will turn the charging on. It's taken me a few goes to get the charging to enable. Like I had to push the button a few times to get it to sort of come on and stay on. It will, because it will actually turn on and then just turn it back off again. If it's like maybe a low current limit or something like that. If it reaches a low current, it will disable charging. It seems that way, but I don't know for sure. And you have to excuse the mess on my desk. I've got a few projects on the go right now. I've always got lots of projects on the go, but right now I've got a few things on the go. But I'd like to get this out the way now. So I've done some basic tests on the caps. You know, ESR, the tweezer, you know, the Shannon tweezer. Use that, check the ESR and capacitance. Looks about right, and it seemed to be. Haven't checked everything, but yeah, like I said, not good on switching my power supplies. This isn't going to be good confidence anyway. But I mean, when I've repaired switching my power supplies, it's always been capacitors, and it's usually the small start capacitors, which would be like probably one of those, and that's because they're usually like totally dead. They're not producing any power. This thing actually has two power supply rails. It's got a 13 volt and a 29 volt. 13 volt rail was present. You can actually see here, it's marked as 12 volt there, and there's the RX-TX line, and there's a 30 volt line there. Alright, so the 13 volt, 12 volt, we want to call it, seems alright, and the other one not so much. So the 13 volt comes over here, so it's got this little switcher over here, so I guess that's just running this one, and the higher current one is coming from this way through these filters and stuff. Then you've got a switching fit here. How that relates to this circuitry I'm not entirely sure yet, but then it comes down to this section, so I'm not quite sure exactly where it comes down to here and goes to that diode there and then through to the main transformer here. So could it be like that dodgy joint there, which I'm looking at there, it's just looking slightly iffy? Really, could it just be that is maybe slightly bad? I don't know. I mean, I'm getting a sensible reading from that diode. It's a dual diode and two of the legs are bridged together, so I'm measuring a diode. Whether both junctions are okay, I don't know. But even if one junction was blown, you would still think you could do 2 amps, wouldn't you? And I can't get anywhere near that. So yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, so I'm kind of shotgunning this. I've got these 2 optocouplers down here. I use that little optocoupler tester, which I picked up not long ago. I'll show you again. And get that drawer. This thing here, very basic thing. Just got a light on it. That's pin 1, the one I marked with the black line. And if I stick it on this one here, try and show if I can. And get it on there. And get it on, come on. Did it for a second. There we go. So it's that one there. That one seems to test okay. And this one here, it tests okay, but when it turns off, it's not going fully off. It's still very slightly on. Although now it's fully off. Now it's going fully off. So maybe there's a capacitor which is charged up and something in there's affecting it. Maybe. So I was a bit suspicious before because it wasn't going completely off, but now it is. So I think I can say the optocouplers are working okay. Probably. So I'm going to just shotgun the capacitors, even though it's probably not those. I'll just do the small ones. There's only 3 of them. I'll just shotgun a small 3 caps and then see if anything changes. Maybe that's it, maybe it's not. Yeah, I could always just like bridge another cap across one of these output caps and see if that changes anything. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously I haven't scoped it or anything. I haven't checked the waveform in the output. The output was barely even there. I went to go and do a load test on it basically, and that's when I found out that you can't do anything. Right, let's try this out. I've got this set up ready to test. I've replaced 3 capacitors, the 3 small ones. There's 250 volt at, well, there are 2 capacitors rated 50 volts, 22 microfarad, and there's 1 capacitor which is 100 microfarad at 25 volt. So I've replaced those 3 caps. The larger ones I've left alone. So let's see if anything is different. So 29 volts, okay. It tried to charge and it cut off. Right, but we've got 29 volts. Now let me actually put a load on this thing. My load's doing 20 milliamps. Still looking good. 100 milliamps, still looking good. Okay. Well, it's doing 1 amp. Still looking good. Excellent. So this is looking promising. 2 amps. 3 amps. It's rated at 4 amps. This is 4 amps. Still looking good. So that's looking fine. That output is working. So I guess that's fixed. And you can see the charge light there is running. And I think that will go off when it detects there's no more current. It might be a boot up sequence thing too, it's also possible. I did see some weirdness before when it first started up. Then we can see that Bluetooth light there flashing on and off. So that ring is currently blue as well, so that's working. Okay, well, I suppose one of those caps is causing a problem. I mean, there were those 2 solder joints as well, which are on the board. The 2 solder joints which I thought looked a little bit dodgy. I also removed that solder because it is lead-free solder. I had to put my irons up to quite high temperatures to get that off. It looked like it's very good quality lead-free solder. Probably the best lead-free solder I've seen, to be honest. But I had to remove that and put some leaded solder on. Obviously you can't mix the 2 if you're trying to refresh a joint like that. So I had to remove the old solder first and replace it with new stuff. But I wasn't getting this before, so I'm happy with that. So in the absence of actually being able to test this thing properly, I think I'm going to have to call that a repair. It may or may not actually work. I honestly have no idea. Really, the only way to really know is to actually have the robot as well and plug it in and do testing. Maybe there's a communication issue. Maybe the battery on the robot itself is bad, and it's detecting that and not charging because it's imbalanced or something like that. I honestly have no idea. But replacing those 3 caps and doing a couple of solder joints has at least got it outputting voltage now, so maybe that was it. But if that is it, then great. If not, then oh well, must something on the robot. If you see me do a video on the robot, you know it was that. So I just used my LC102 over here to test these 3 capacitors, and as I expected, because of the age, they're perfectly fine. They all measure really good still, so they didn't really need replacing, which means that there's a good chance the issue was 1 or 2 of those 2 solder joints, which I touched up because I wasn't quite sure if they were okay or not. They looked a little bit dodgy. So there's only 2 joints I found which looked bad, or potentially bad, and I'm guessing one of those was not quite performing right. I don't know. But anyway, those 3 caps I replaced them, but they didn't need replacing. They're perfectly fine. So, as I thought, because of the age, not likely to be capacitors. It could be. I've had stuff that age go bad before with caps because the caps were not very good quality, and they're on all the time. It's constantly powered, and so it ages them and kills them, especially when they get hot. But in this case, these caps are perfectly fine, so I didn't need to replace those. So it's probably just a bad solder joint, or it isn't actually that which is wrong. Maybe it's something else. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. Anybody else to watch down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Like and subscribe even, like it says on my desk. Catch you later.